समुपासिता मदम्पास्य मया महान्तस् तीर्थानि चास्तिक धिया नहि सेवितानि देवार्चनं च विधिवन् कृतं कदापि तस्मात् त्वमेव शरणं मम भूतनाथ तस्मात् त्वमेव शरणं मम भूतनाथ तस्मात् त्वमेव शरणं मम भूतनाथ. Jai Ma, Jai Gurudev. Usually in the beginning of my videos, I start chanting my Guru mantras. I am very fortunate to have met some really incredible Gurus, very magnificent souls in my life. Starting from my own father, Swami Devi. He was a living adept, living master of tantra and a great devotee of Baglamukhi Ma. Through him, I was introduced to his guru, Paramhans Nikhleshwarananda, who again is one of the greatest tantric masters. In fact, he revived tantra back. Tantra, which was getting a bad name, a bad reputation, he actually revived the good side of tantra while he was alive. He belonged to the Siddhashram lineage. His guru was Swami Sachidananda, and one of the greatest gurus, Trijata Baba. So in the upcoming series, we will be talking about all the great gurus of our parampara. This is all from Siddhashram. My father also introduced me to one great living master. The way people know about Ramakrishna talking to Kali, same way was our Baba Bhoothnath talking to Ma Kamakhya. My father introduced us to Ma Kamakhya's own son, Baba Bhoothnath ji. When I was about to make this video, I had been thinking about it for many years. I grew up hearing stories of Baba Bhoothnath ji, not only hearing stories, then I met him. I have experienced his grace, and I always wanted to talk about him to the world. But somehow it took this much time to come up and speak. So before coming up with this whole recording sessions, we were meditating in one of our Zoom sessions. A group we are now conducting Zoom chanting sessions as group sessions. And while we were chanting, and I was thinking, in the chanting we were chanting Baba Bhoothnath mantra, and I was I went deep inside the mantra, and in my head I had been thinking the whole day, what is going to be the title of the videos? What is going to be the title of the videos? And I was not getting a good title. But while the group chanting session was going on, I went deep inside my meditation, and suddenly everything was silent. And in that moments of samadhi, I actually saw Baba Bhoothnath ji sitting in front of me with red dress and blessing me. And then he himself told me the name of the title. He said, "Say Kamakhya Putra Shakt Yogiraj Shri Shri 1008 Baba Bhoothnath ji. This will be your title." And then I'm like, okay. And then he blessed everybody. Even though in the Zoom sessions, everybody is spread out. They are in different parts of the world. But what I saw, he has blessed everyone. Anyways, that session was over. And after the meditation, we don't talk normally. We get back to our work. Then some of the people who were in the session, they wrote to me personally and said, "Didi, we suddenly felt a jolt of energy in our body today. Today's session was very strong. We saw some light, something different just happened. Is it correct or are we hallucinating?" I said, "No, it is absolutely correct. I myself saw Baba Bhoothnath ji, and he has blessed me with the title of the series because I was struggling what to say." So this is one experience. Even though Baba Bhoothnath ji is no more in body form, but there are so many disciples even now who experience him, who experience his blessings. He has come and he has given them mantras, he has come and he has given them guidance on as to what to do. He is one of the living saints. Like Ramakrishna Paramahansa, when he left his body, he has come to many disciples and guided them. There is a temple in Calcutta, one of the saints who built that temple. He said, this is an old story, that saint is no more. He said, Ramakrishna Paramahansa, after passing away, he came in dreams and guided this person to build that temple, Kali temple. Same way, Lahadi Mahasaya, after leaving his body, he came to his disciples. Our Baba Bhoothnath ji is the same. He is a living master. Even though living masters, even though they leave their bodies, but they are always living. And those who call them with their sincere heart, such living masters are always ready to help and guide. In my family, we were introduced to Baba Bhoothnath ji at a very early time. Baba Bhoothnath ji left his home when he was only 11 years old, and then he went on a spiritual quest. And after having the darshan of Ma Kamakhya, he was ordered by Ma Kamakhya to go back to the society and work for the human welfare, help people, help the needy. And he came back. When he came back, while he was roaming around, one of the stopovers that he made was at my maternal grandparents, their home. My mother's mom, in India we call her Nani. So my Nani was not having a son, and Baba Bhoothnath ji at that time had come in. He was just like a wandering saint, with hair, like matted hair and long beard, and just like a normal wandering monk. And he sat down at near my Nani, and then Nani was like, I want to have a son, can I have one? I don't know what to do. And Nani had gone through some series of miscarriages also. So at that time, Baba Bhoothnath ji gave her ashes, vibhuti, and said, with the blessings of Ma Kamakhya, you will get 3 sons. And later my Nani had 3 sons. So this is okay, this story is okay. But he used to visit there quite often, and he knew my mother from childhood. After that, my mother got married, and then my father came in. And then my father, he was struggling through his business in UP. At that time, Baba Bhoothnath ji was there in Lucknow, and then my mother said, why don't you go to Baba Bhoothnath ji and take some help? My father was an IIT graduate, a chemical engineer, and to him all these things was little questionable. The meeting saints and all those things, he didn't believe much. So he said, but he said, let me go, And then he went. When he went to Baba Bhoothnath ji, the whole presence of Baba Bhoothnath ji, first of all, is very magnanimous, very magnificent. And then Baba Bhoothnath ji started talking to him. And all the things that Babaji said to him really opened up my father's mind. And my father wanted to know more and more and more. And he kept going on and meeting and going on and meeting and learning. And then later on, my father said about his business, that I'm suffering in this business. My business is not doing great. What should I do? At that time, Baba Bhoothnath ji, he had a siddhi. He could get anything from the air. So Baba Bhoothnath ji just waved his hand in the air, and he got a ring. By waving the hand in the air, he got a ring in his hand. That ring, he gave it to my father, and he said, you keep this ring. This is Ma Kamakhya's blessing. Your business will not be set here in Uttar Pradesh. You have to leave this place and go. You should go to Mumbai and set up your business there. You will find success there. That's your place. So hearing what Babaji told, taking his advice, and my father followed that advice and came to Bombay. So we grew up hearing all these stories that Babaji could get things from the air, and many other stories, which I will tell you as this video goes on in the upcoming series. When I was a kid, my father gave me Autobiography of a Yogi, and in that book, in Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda, I read about so many miraculous saints, and I used to ask my dad, is this true? My father used to say, yes, you will meet Baba Bhoothnath ji and you will see that this is 100% true. There are saints like this. Certain things we cannot believe. It seems like stories. But Baba Bhoothnath ji is a living example. And you will see. I'm like, okay. And time flew by, and then I still remember I gave my 12th grade exams, and after my exams, during that period of break, probably it was around 1989 May, at that time Babaji had come to Mumbai. When he came to Mumbai, my mom and dad came to know, oh, he's here in Mumbai. In those times, there was no Facebook or WhatsApp or anything by which you will come to know immediate announcement, oh, Babaji is here. No, you can't. So somebody has to tell you that Babaji is here. So some of the Babaji's disciples, they knew that my father is in Bombay. They called up and said, oh, Baba Bhoothnath is there. If you want to come and meet. My father said, yes, we will come. And then I heard, oh, Baba Bhoothnath has come. I'm like, okay, I also want to go. But I told my father, at that time I was 17 years old, and I said, my father, I'm not going to go with you guys. I have heard so many stories about him, and I want to test it myself. I want to experience myself. So you all don't please come with me. I want to go myself. My father said, yes, you must go. You must test it out, how he is. And the next day, 9 o'clock, I left the home. And I told my father, you're going to come only in the evening, not in the morning. I will go. And because my father had also said that he can read minds. My Guruji, Baba Bhoothnath ji, can read minds. So I wanted to test that also. 9 o'clock, I reached at that place. It was a bungalow, somebody's bungalow. And everybody was sitting in the living room. There were many people. And then the secretary was standing outside greeting everybody. I just went to the corner because I didn't want to give my name to anybody. I didn't want anybody to know who I am. So I just took one corner and I told, I just want to meet him. I was the youngest in that whole crowd. There were all people, working people and everybody. I was a kid sitting there in the crowd. So probably the secretary was ignoring me. He didn't want to send me inside. I was least important to him. So since 9 o'clock, I'm waiting. And then lunchtime happened. I didn't eat lunch because I was not sure. Maybe he will call. But the secretary kept sending others and not me. By the time it was 4 o'clock in the evening, and I was around 4:30, and I was way too hungry, and I was getting very angry and annoyed that I'm waiting since morning and this person is not allowing me to go inside. Around 4:30 or 5, I was the last one, and then Babaji called me inside. Then I go inside. First I was very angry and upset because I was hungry since the whole day, and then my number was almost the last, and then I entered. The moment I entered the room, oh my God, I saw him standing in front of me, 6 feet almost. What a personality, what a yogic personality. And he was 90-year-old at that time, people said, but he looked basically 50-year-old. I'm telling you, the photos which will be shared in a blue gown that Babaji is wearing, or a photo with a black background, Babaji is smiling. Those photos were clicked in 1989. He was 90-year-old that time, and you look at those photos and you look at his face and the shine. And I'm telling you, in those times there was not this Facetune apps or anything which could clear the faces. Whatever was clicked in the camera, that was clicked in the camera. So those photos are almost very original. And but beyond the photos, when you look at Babaji, what a personality, tall and standing in front of you, and you can see the glow of yoga, the glow of a yogi on his face, shining bright. And he looked at me and he smiled. And not only he smiled, he just looks at me and says, "Come, Smita Devi, come." And I'm like, how does he know my name? I didn't tell anybody. I was quiet since morning. How does he know my name? For a second, I was like, oh my God. But maybe I thought maybe somebody must be knowing me. Then he says, "Come, Smita Devi, sit. Your mother, Asha Rani, oh, she has done a lot of seva to me when as a child. And your father, he is one of my favorites. And you are his daughter. And that's why I like you also." I am like, how does he know my biodata? At that second, I just wanted to keep quiet. I'm like, anyways, then I'm thinking maybe something, I don't know, some clue he must have got somewhere. And then he says, "You have applied in 3 colleges," because at that time my results had almost come, and I had applied in 3 colleges for engineering colleges. And I was very sure that I'm going to get through the colleges because I really had a very good score in my PCM, around 97% in PCM and aggregate 90%. So I was very confident, any of the engineering colleges will pick me up. But Babaji says, no, you won't be getting the admission. And I thought, how is he saying that? I said, no, Babaji, my numbers are way too high, and one of the colleges will definitely get me. He said, no, it's not possible. But I will pray to Ma Kamakhya for you, because I like your father a lot. And I'm going to pray to Ma Kamakhya, and after 1 month, you're going to get a call letter. And in my head, I'm thinking, what does he know about my marks? What does he know about engineering colleges? And call letter, who sends a call letter in today's age? But he said all these things, and I'm like, okay, we'll see what happens in the future. And then he predicted some more things. Next day, my parents went to them, and then he predicted some more things about me to my parents. And so this was what happened in that short visit. But then his personality was so magnetic. I returned back home and I could not get over. The whole night I kept thinking, how did he know? How did he know? As if he was just reading my mind. He started talking about my college and he started talking about some of my incidents of my life. How did he know? And next day I said, I'm going again. I wanted to test him again. So next day again I went. Every day I would just go, just to be there, just to feel his aura. So loving, so giving, just to see him smile. I have not seen anybody like that in my life, even till date. Even when I'm speaking, like as if he's in front of me, that moment is in front of me. So magnificent. I don't have words to describe. I do not know how to describe those words. When I'm talking, it's like, I don't know, there's some kind of thrill that just goes on even when I think of his name. And I started going every day, and the same story would happen. Morning I go, I wait there till evening. In the evening they would call me. Like this, around 9 days passed away. So on the next day, I and one of my friends were going in the train, and we both said, see, Babaji has predicted so many things to so many people. He told us about our past. Now we know that he can read our minds, so we can't think anything else in front of him. We have to be very careful. But we haven't seen his Siddhi, where he could get things from the air. He did that, and I'm telling to my friend, I said he got one ring for my father from the air. So I want to see that. I'm going to request him today to show us that, how to get things from air. So my friend is like, yeah, today we will ask. So we girls, we are like I'm 17-year-old and she's 18-year-old, and we two girls, we are like talking like this. And we went, and last day, it was the last day almost, but I didn't know Babaji is going to leave the next day. We reached there, same story, whole day I'm sitting, then last day there was a lot of people who had come. In the evening around 4 o'clock, our number came. At that time, what Babaji did, he called up the entire crowd, whichever was left. So close to around 25 to 30 people, they entered in the room in which Babaji was there. All of us were seated together in front of him. And Babaji had this habit, whatever he had in hand, he would just give prasad. And he took up everybody's questions. He guided everybody, solved their problems. In the end, he looked at both of us girls. We were the youngest. And he says, girls, come here in front of us. And we both went. And then he says, open your mouth. We like, ah. And then he waved his hand in the air. And then closed his fist. And then said, open your mouth. And then filled something in our mouth. He just had a fist full of dry fruits. He just waved his hands. And in his hand there was fist full of dry fruits, one in my mouth and one in my friend's mouth, as if you guys wanted to see this, now shut your mouth. And we both, our mouths filled with dry fruits, we both looked at each other. I'm like, oh my God, we didn't even have to say anything. Was he hearing our conversation when we were talking in the train? He didn't show this to anybody in the entire crowd, because they were not interested in that. Whatever people were interested, he was showing them that. We both girls, we were only interested to see this waving of the hand and getting something from the air. And we got that. Beautiful moment. And after that, he is smiling at us, we are smiling, and then we sat down. And then that evening, I still remember, I told Babaji, before you leave to Lucknow, I want you to come to our house once. And Babaji is so nice. He's like, okay, I will come to your house. I said, Babaji, promise you're coming, right? Yes. How do we go to your house? So I was very naive. I didn't know Babaji had such disciples who can take him in Mercedes car, and he was living in Khar Road in that very big bungalow of some rich person. And me, like a small kid, naive, innocent, I'm like, Babaji, don't worry, tomorrow morning I'll come. You finish meeting everybody, I'll take you. We'll take a rickshaw from here. We'll take a train. We'll go to that junction, Dadar, and then we'll take another train. From Dadar, we'll go to my house. Then we'll take an auto. I'll take you to my house. Babaji is yes, sure, I'll come. Today you leave, I'll come. Next day, I come to know that Babaji is leaving. He won't be coming to my house. And before leaving, I was like very, very sad. I said, Babaji, you promised and you're not coming. Anyways, you're leaving, no problem. Next time you'll come. Babaji is, yes, I told you, I promised you I will come. So I will come. And he left. After that, after this thing was over, then in Jan, 6 months later, in Jan, I am seeing a dream. In the dream, I see that Babaji has come to my house. And he's sitting on the sofa, and there are so many people, and we are offering food to everybody. It's a very festive environment. Everybody is very happy, and there is kirtan bhajan happening, and Devi Ma is sitting, and I saw all these beautiful dreams, and I'm feeding everybody. And then I woke up in the morning happily, and I told my father, I saw Babaji come to our house, and I was feeding him, and I was so happy. Babaji said, yeah, really? I said, yeah. Babaji said, okay, let's make a call to my father said, let's make a call to Babaji. Let's call up Lucknow. In those times, it was not like WhatsApp call, immediately call. No, we had to book a trunk call and then wait for that STD call to go there, and then we get the call. So we made a call. In the morning, we made a call, and the secretary said, no, Babaji is not here. Then afternoon, again, my father called. He said, where is Babaji? We want to meet him once. My daughter saw a dream and she wants to talk to him. At that time, the secretary said, we are sorry to tell, Babaji just left in the morning. Today, he took samadhi. He's no more. Oh my God, I started crying. I'm like, before leaving, that was my first and my last meeting with him, 10 days of meeting him every day. And before going, he had promised that he will come to my house. And he kept his promise. Even though in my dream, that dream was not a dream, it was so real, And he left. But I'm telling you, even though he left his body, not even a single day would pass when I would not feel his presence. Every day. I still remember my 12th grade, my first year engineering, my second year engineering. Every now and then, every second, every moment, Babaji was there. Always. And whenever I sincerely connected to him, he's there. And not only me, so many disciples of him. And I know through this video series that I am saying, I know Babaji will be connecting to a lot of them. And some of them, it is not a very old story. He just passed away in 1990. And we are in 2022, so not too long ago. And there are many disciples of that time who are still alive, who still know about Babaji. And I'm hoping some of you will hear and comment it, and then so let the others also know that such a great exalted personality lived among us, who could perform miracles, who could guide people, who is still guiding people. So there are so many other great stories about him. He had darshan of Ma Kamakhya, all those little stories, and so many other inspiring things about his life I learned from my father and through others also. And that I'm going to share in the upcoming series. For now, we will end it up here, and in the next series I will tell you what happened about the prophecy that he told me that I won't get admission. It all came true. But we will more focus on Babaji's spiritual journey from the upcoming videos. Alright, thank you so much. Jai Ma, Jai Gurudev.